Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. They say that what you know defines you. And in a way it is true. But what does it actually define? It defines a version of you, not the reality of you. So if you make the mistake of coming to Satsang, imagining or thinking that you will get to know something more, so it is not that type of a classroom. If you can leave yourself undefined for even a moment, if you can leave yourself undefined for just a moment, then I can work with you. Otherwise, I'm only going to become a party to your limitation. I'm going to become another aspect to how you are limiting yourself. Because there's a lot to learn even in the words of Satsang. You see? So you might use that to continue to define yourself. But I don't want to play any part in that. If the words in Satsang can be used in a way to pluck out these definitions, these limitations, no matter how broad or grand they might seem, they do not compare to your truth. You see, this realm and all other realms are nothing but your playgrounds. They come and go for you. You do not come and go for them. You see? But the moment you start to consider yourself to be this tiny, tiny object in this tiny, tiny realm that comes and goes, you see, that dances for your joy, then this that you consider yourself to be seems so far from your reality. That is bound to lead to some complications, like suffering. The truth is not to be found anywhere in time and space. Now you can use the term go inside if that takes you beyond time and space. You see? This is a very good window. You say inside, but it is not inside anything. So go to that inside. You see? And see what you are. In reality, are you caught up there in the comings and goings of this life? all that you give meaning to, what does it mean? Empty of time and space. This power is completely yours. This is the greatest superpower. But to the mind it feels like nothing. To step back from all limitations. You see? Is greater than any siddhi that you could have. Is greater than any spiritual experience that you might be chasing. Step away from your limited mind and taste your reality. If you attach yourself to this crazy donkey called the world, if you tie yourself to this, no lasting peace is going to come. That which you are attached to, how long is it going to last? For you, that one blink of your eyelid is billions of centuries. You see? Even that is saying too much. How long are these tiny things going to last? This planet, this realm, arises in one of your states. This is your experience. I am not speaking anything esoteric, metaphysical. Plain and simple. You outlast all your states. No state outlasts you. But if you keep considering yourself just an object in this dream, suffering is the reward for this stupidity. By Guruji's grace, I saw here that I am not this object. It was just an idea I had. And I saw that all ideas, in some way or the other, contribute to my considering myself to be an object. Our habit is just like this, to fill ourselves up with that which we think we know. If I say to you, just remain empty, you fill yourself up with remain empty. As long as you can see this trick, there is hope. As long as you can see that with everything that you pick up, you only contribute to your pride, your self-definition. You're actually limiting yourself, even in the guise of freeing yourself. Are we so scared to meet this moment empty? You've experienced a life. You've had the experience where you've seen how it is when you're caught up in your mind, when you're caught up in the notion of me, caught up in the limitation of ego. I was saying the other day that many times you could be in satsang for many years and you might still think that it's for me. You see? And it can come sometimes as a rude shock. You see? That really it is not about you. That which you think you are, it is about you in reality. If you have the sense of willingness to jump into this vastness empty of all limitations, completely defenseless and open, then this meeting is worthwhile. But I am not in service to you if these words also become part of your ideas about yourself. It's time to taste the food that is being served here. The best news ever is that truth does not need chasing. Truth does not even need finding. Truth is what you are. So that which is naturally present, how can you want that? You see? It is only that the term want loses its meaning. If you come to me and you're sitting like this and you say, Ananta, I want to sit. You see? What should I say to you? That you are. And then if you say, but I don't think I am, or my mind says that I am not, what should I say to you? This is exactly what Satsang is. You are the self. There is nothing missing. You are already beyond all limitations. What will you say? But I think. So, what you're already saying is that you value that thought much more than what I'm saying. I know you don't mean it in that way, but it shows you, it shows me. I say you are free now. You are the self. The thought comes and says, but. You see? It's all, in Hindi we say but. This is but. You see? So what are you going to value more? Then you may come to me and say, Ananta, it's not a thought. It is just energetic. But energetic is also a thought. Energetic is also a concept. There is no such thing as energetic actually. For the mind, this is radical. For you, it is natural. The mind is like a weighing scale. It can only deal with limited qualities. How will the weighing scale measure space? What is the weight of space? What is the weight of time? Make no sense, no? So how will it measure that which is beyond time and space? You cannot use this tool for it. Cannot use this tool for it. Your thoughts will never report this reality. No one among you can show me your boundary. You are never experiencing a boundary for yourself. You might say, but this is my boundary. But where is this boundary experienced? You might say, the extent of my perceptions, they define me. But where are these perceptions experienced? What is the boundary where your perceptions are? Your perception could be anything, but it is still contained within you. You may have a perception of God itself, this consciousness. You see? But even that would be contained within you. This is your experience now. Tell me if it is not. There is only one voice which is fighting this. That voice is the lawyer for the non-existent ego. Saying, but, objection, Your Honor, objection, constantly. So it is time now to forget about it. All this but. You see? It is only your attachment to yourself as a seeker. All the energetic support you need is here. All the pointers you need are here. And you decide, okay? So I speak phenomenally for a few moments. New Year is coming. How should we deal with your stubborn insistence? How should we deal with your stubborn insistence that you are somebody, something? And remember your answer, okay? Because you might say, Father, chop it off, Father, kill it, rid me of me. But when the chopping comes, it doesn't always feel pleasant. Like, chop it off. See? The chopping is happening, it can feel a bit grating at times. The guillotine always doesn't strike with one shot. If you knew already that all the beliefs that you have are false, you would not even hold them as beliefs. So when I am asking for this Guru Dakshina, give up everything that you think you know, it can feel a bit strong. Sometimes you make these promises from a me position and you don't even realize what you're promising. I chop my head off and then I will be free. You're still eyeing the prize for yourself. So how should we deal with the stubborn insistence that I am the ego? If I say to you that it's time to really, really devote yourself to this truth which is naturally here and let go of this nonsense insistence on egoic belief. Is there a yes in your heart? Yes or no?
Yes.
If there is fear coming, what will happen to my life? Know that only grace is happening. Trying to run your life is pretending to push a train or something. This object, this body, is what for life? Is it? It's nothing. This one pretends as if it is running this life. Is it? It's like the train is running. This guy is just about hanging from the end of the train. You see? But the idea he has is that, oh, I'm running this train. Life is running. The one that pretends to be the doer, the choice maker, that one you can't even find. This is the extent of our delusion. So the train will keep running. You don't have to worry about it. How will I run my life is one of the most ludicrous ideas you will ever hear. You see? And yet it is what keeps us bound in a way. Not one heartbeat you know how to take. You see? And you feel like you're running your life. Not one finger we know how to move. You see? Who knows how to fire a neuron? Nobody. Ludicrous. But our me is dependent on this idea. How are you existing now? What makes you exist? Does anyone know? Just got caught up in the imagery after existence. After I am, all of this plane of light and sound started, and you feel like this object I am. In fact, why wait for the new year? Uh, can be mealess now. You are, in fact. It is not possible to have meow without me. See? Some of you don't know these references I've been making over the years. Meow is what I usually refer to as the suffering of the individual me. Meow. So all of this suffering, which is just a term for broad term for all of this egoic stuff like guilt, pride, remorse, regret. Which other ways do you suffer in? Indecision. Which other ways do we suffer in? Confusion, indecision. Idea. It's okay, we have enough battery. What is suffering? It is all of these things only. No? How do you suffer? Have you all ever suffered without any of these? You see, it's just a term for this stuff. The sages must have felt like it is too much to spell it out every time, so let's invent a nice word which defines all of this stuff. Pride is suffering. You see, even false humility is suffering. You see, look at how special I am because how humble I am. You see, even that is suffering. You see, guilt, like why did I do this? I shouldn't have done that. That is really bad. What I did. Regret is similar. Remorse is similar. Indecision is buying into the false notion of individual doership, individual existence. All confusion is about who you are. All confusion. You may not feel it is so, but if you check, if you were looking at life from your true perspective, confusion is an impossibility. So all of this suffering is just confusion about who you are. This so-called individualization of consciousness, which actually never happened. So, mealess, yes? Yes. The least enthusiastic audience. So how to be empty of this me? If it was sitting here, you would have to pluck it out, isn't it? But it's not. So just to remain in this openness, non-resistive, non-defensive, conceptually empty, empty of the narrative, subtitles. Let them come and go. But the subtitles have not been true for this movie. You've been watching It's a Wonderful Life, but the subtitles have been The Godfather. Okay. You still think you're Michael Corleone or something. Know that these are just subtitles. The me is like that, just made up. So let these subtitles come and go. Don't attach to any of this. Namaste Father, good to see you. On request from some Hindi people, gave few Hindi satsangs in the past and today also. Have been going online for a few months. Go live at 3 a.m. to 6 p.m. All Sadhguru's grace. Good to see you, Astrid. I make them private. I keep one open for public today. I'll make it private. To share satsang means that we come to the company of the truth. Now this truth is really not possible to express verbally. And yet somehow the words seem to help it along. But the Master serves as a representation of the possibility of your own freedom. That is why a master actually is different from just somebody who can teach you spiritual concepts. A master is one that you look at them, you look at their life and see that it represents the possibility which is here for us. The freedom from suffering, the non-attachment, the openness to take on all that afflicts the world. So definitely for those who themselves cannot yet seem to handle the vagaries, the ups and downs of life, should not take on this additional burden of trying to share satsang. If the master himself gets completely shaken by the smallest things that come and go, then it is better not to go on this adventure. The sharing satsang business, I don't know how it appears to you. So, the world needs possibly millions of satsang teachers. But the sharing of satsang egoically will be the biggest burden that anybody can ever carry. So I would not advise anyone to rush into it. Allow it to unfold organically. Thank you all so much for being in satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Sri Ananta-Part ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.